The lockdowns of 2020 and 2021 opened up a gap in all of our lives that no one had ever imagined possible. Before the menace of a terrifying virus, cities came to a standstill. Nearly 3 billion people had to suddenly lock themselves away in their homes. From one day to the next, the streets were emptied, leaving behind a disturbing silence. But not for everyone. Very often, wild animals filmed in urban environments are used to humans who have fed and raised them since birth like their natural parents would have done. So we get beautiful and spectacular pictures which are not always realistic. But in 2020, reality would go beyond fiction. City dwellers from around the world filmed what were once unimaginable scenes with mobile phones. Peacocks, goats, deer, wild boars, foxes, weasels, and many other wild creatures walked down the roads as if they were alone in the world. More interested than disturbed by this universe, where humans seem to have suddenly disappeared. Once more, birdsong can be heard in the middle of town. Lockdowns and the return of silence put us suddenly in front of a disturbing reality. We live night and day in a maddening cacophony of sound. Ports also stopped. Astonished by this silence, many marine animals came to see what was happening. Naturally curious and playful, dolphins arrived to scout. In the port of Set, a shark explored in a metre of water.
Come quick, there's a shark!
A family of manatee and Indian file made a show in a Florida port.
Yeah, big animals. Whoa, 3.
It's just a baby. Oh.
In New Zealand, a humpbacked whale came to inspect the quays of the port of Wellington. But what was it like in the open sea? The Mediterranean Sea is one of the busiest seas on the planet. Noise pollution is at its worst. Lockdown imposed a silence that hadn't been heard for a long time. Researchers from the University of Toulon seized this historical occasion to launch a study project baptized Quiet Sea. Installed on a catamaran, the team piloted 2 electric marine drones, perfectly silent, inspired by the traditional Polynesian canoe. The 2 asymmetric hulls assure exceptional stability, which reduces pitching and rolling strongly. So, sound distortion on the submarine listening instruments on board is greatly reduced. The two drones can patrol a zone for hours without any human intervention. Hervé Glotin, acoustic researcher, analyzes the recordings made.
Ça, c'est le bruit de l'environnement.
That's the noise of the environment there. This packet is the noise of fish, organisms around the drone, and there's no other noise added, anthropic, etc.
Among the animals that people the Mediterranean, the great sperm whale is a giant, 18 meters long. It's the only cetacean with teeth in its jaw. It spends a large part of its life below the water and comes up periodically to the surface to fill up with oxygen. Water offers such high resistance to the penetration of light that at a few dozen meters depth, it immerses us in darkness. However, sounds benefit from the density of water to propagate very far and very quickly, allowing an intense exchange of vital information for the cetaceans and the balance of ecosystems. While it was long believed that marine animals were silent, we now know that they are noisy and incorrigibly talkative.
Les poissons font leur bruit.
Fish make noises either by their swim bladder or by moving their fins. That grinds or it burps.
Soit en pétant.
Or it belches.
In this unusual silence, the sperm whale flatulence sounds like underwater eruptions. The great sperm whale uses its nostrils to produce sound signals like a series of clicks, for which it then waits for the echo that the environment sends back. It's by this process, known as echolocation and like sonar, that the cetacean spots its prey. Each sperm whale has its own acoustic signature. In a group discussing, each individual can be identified. For the first time in the world, a few weeks before the Quiet Sea operation, the acoustic coordinates of several sperm whales hunting in a group were recorded in the Great Deeps offshore from Monaco. The ecosystems are very rich and the prey numerous in this zone carved with deep submarine canyons. The recordings made show that, even at 500 meters distance from each other, the actions and movements of the sperm whales were concerted and synchronized, which implies they communicate between each other. What are they saying? Are they giving instructions? Orders? Are those on watch, on the flanks, describing to the others what they perceive in the depths, movement of the prey that the herd is pursuing? Nothing is yet known. Sole certitude, the recordings have confirmed that the sperm whales have a strong collaborative intelligence based on the communication of sound. However, in ordinary times this is heard. A noise mainly due to blades, boat motors and sonar. This accumulation of sound sometimes exceeds 160 decibels, the limit beyond which the human ear is in danger.
Nowadays, these animals are separated by an uncrossable barrier of acoustic disturbances, and which prevents them from meeting or simply communicating.